the world's most dangerous fantasy football podcast.
Chef and the professor. Highly disputed. Highly disputed. Let's have a drink and let's talk through it. Hey. Highly disputed. Highly disputed. Highly disputed. Highly disputed. Fantasy. We going over player props and ADP. Waiver wire, all the things you need. We got the fire.
What's up, y'all? It's highly disputed. You already know what time it is. We're recording live on a Monday night. I got the professor of Dynasty with me, rocking the Carhartt out in the great PNW.
Carhartt season.
It's Carhartt season. And if you're playing fantasy football as well as the professor is, it's going to be playoff season too. And you know, if you're dropping 3 in a row, like your boy Chef Sauce over here, it might be tinkering season soon.
It's tinkering season right now, let's be honest.
I think for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should start with some things we got right. We've been talking about Parker Washington since the summer. We've been talking about Kyle Manungai since the summer. Both those guys just went and balled out this weekend. They got their opportunity because of injury, but it's what you do with the opportunity that counts. You look at a guy like Rico Dowdle, who, sometimes if the opportunity opens up, you can take the dude's job just by outperforming them. Another guy you were right about, Torrey Horton. You want to talk about some of these dudes?
Yeah, Parker Washington, if he's available in your league. If you're playing with me, he's not, because I scooped him up, Dynasty, redraft. It's just opportunity share. So everyone's going to say, oh, yeah, Travis Hunter is on IR, right? But BTJ injured his shoulder this past week. He might not be ready going into the week. Information is still coming out. And then a lot of people forget Brenton Strange, who was a favorite of T-Law, getting 8 to 11 targets a game. At the end of the day, you might not look at Parker Washington as a startable asset or player, but he is, because the 3 target, the 3 people that were ahead of him in targets on the team might not be playing next week. 2 out of the 3 for sure are not. So he is potentially a league winner rest of year. Guy I'll say for you to cover, because we both were high on him, but you were high on him and you took the leap there. Torrey Horton, I'm gonna get a lot of flack because I said that I think his potential is a 1, right? JSN obviously is the number 1 receiver in the league right now, but I stand by my case, and it was actually on display this last week, which is basically what I was saying, is that there's certain things that Torrey Horton can do that JSN can. And a lot of that is athletic ability and size, just God-given talent. So Torrey Horton is looking like the bona fide X. If Seattle uses him correctly, it really should be, they can both be like top 20-ish receivers on the same team, kind of like what you saw out of Philadelphia with Smitty and A.J. Brown several years ago, because they play 2 different roles, right? But it will be a situation where it looks like Torrey Horton can be, the touchdown guy, the scoring machine. He has 5 TDs on the season, and people didn't even think he was going to be starting this year. He came off of a ACL injury. So what we're seeing right now isn't even really him at full speed, wasn't really able to get right for the draft process, wasn't even practicing during the offseason really until the later part of training camp. So sky's the limit. I think he could be what the Lions thought that Jameson Williams was going to be with a Amon-Ra St. Brown. So you can have those 2 there. But yeah, talk about Manungai.
Yeah. He was a guy, we heard about him preseason. The Bears kind of waited a while. I think he was a 5th round pick, so he didn't really have the draft capital. Where was Horton taken? 5th round as well?
5th round as well.
Yeah. So he played at Rutgers. We both liked his film. I think he actually convinced me to go and pick him back up in preseason. Teams can go and get a running back late and get production out of them. And Ben Johnson knows what he's doing. And if you put this kid's tape on, legs are churning all the time. Like, you've played the position. He just knows how to drive the ball forward. And he was just ripping off chunk. I think he had over 200 scrimmage yards. Probably would have scored if the Bengals didn't challenge the DJ Moore fumble at the goal line, and then that ended up giving Chicago a touchdown. That game was wild. That was a fucking wild game. Last week was kind of a dud, but this week delivered, man. There are some great games this week.
Great games, lots of injuries, great games. What I will say is, when it comes to Torrey Horton, when it comes to Kyle Monangai, right, and we're gonna get into draft season soon, and this podcast is gonna really, it's gonna be part of our bread and butter as far as like, especially for the Dynasty listeners, as far as like pre-draft rankings. But simply put, either you can play or you can't play. Too much calculus and spreadsheet nonsense
Right.
goes into a lot of these players. You can see it. Either they can play or they can't play. It doesn't matter when they get drafted, right? A la Torrey Horton. All that matters is, can they play? Can they not play? And then opportunity. And even opportunity is so underrated. You can't not draft a player because you think he's going to be buried on the depth chart, right? Cam Scottaboo can play. It was very obvious. But he went to a team where people said, Tyrell Tracy's the one, Devin Singletary there, etc. Doesn't matter, because injuries happen, and either you can play or you can't play. The cream will always rise to the top.
Always. And you see how quickly opportunities can change in this league in a single snap. Brissett's balling out right now. He's getting Marvin Harrison the ball. So that's nice to see.
Jacoby can play.
But yeah, I think part of the reason I'm so comfortable giving up draft picks is I know there's going to be guys available on the wire. I know there's going to be guys who aren't going to be drafted, who are going to perform well in camp, and I'm going to have the opportunity to add them. It's like anybody can go out and grab Caleb Williams if you have the pick. It doesn't take a lot of research. I'm just using him as an example. Ashton Genty, which I kind of was trying to pump the brakes on him, but like, it's not hard to draft based on whatever Fantasy Pros has these guys ranked at. That's not hard. What will keep your team competitive is finding these guys that aren't going drafted and picking them up when your league isn't thinking about it.
Or in the fourth, like Bucky Irving, Torrey Horton,
and just know that you're probably going to miss. You're going to miss too. So it's like,
you miss in the first too, though.
Yeah, you can miss anytime. I'm not ready to call Bryce Young a miss, but for fantasy purposes, absolutely he's a miss. The guy has a winning record in the NFL right now, but it's like, okay, we're gonna need, you're not putting up any points, so
he needs to be on a different team.
Yeah, I think it's hard with the 1-1, and I kind of talked about this, I think last episode, but it's a reason. There's a reason why these teams have the first overall pick.
Yeah, Cam Ward is going through that right now.
Yeah, Cam Ward.
And
I feel like Trevor Lawrence still hasn't, the performance he's had, we've questioned it, but he's still dealing with the organization that's kind of a disaster. Kyler Murray in 1-1, and
Kyler Murray brought his team to the playoffs, though. I don't want to get into the Kyler Murray. T-Law also brought his team to the playoffs. Them not getting it done is totally different. We should be looking at the more recent 101s, right, or 102s. Right. I think a good example is someone like Caleb Williams, who is doing well right now, but his team really wasn't a 101. His team had the 110. The 101 they got from the Panthers because they parlayed the Bryce Young pick to Carolina and got 2 1s, right? So Chicago's roster wasn't a bottom 5; it was like a bottom 10,
right?
Bottom
and
15,
it still took Caleb. It still took
a year, right? But then on the flip side, there are teams that have the stud QB who maybe overachieves, like the Washington Commanders, and people are like, what happened to Washington? They took a step back. No, they didn't. They were the 102 like less than 12 months ago. So yeah, they got Jaden Daniels and they re-signed Scary Terry, but you're trying out Zach Ertz, like who's older than I am. I'm like, come on, like this isn't that bona fide of a team. Sometimes they get right. Yes, he's productive, but
you told me he was gonna win my week.
Well, you ran into a 40 piece from Brock Bowers.
I did, saw that, and T. Higgins.
Yeah, T. Higgins. I think Brock Bowers was your root because if he hadn't played, you would have had a chance.
Yeah, Brock Bowers made me turn my television off.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's a bad man.
But Zach, it's more so the problem I have with the Commanders is that they're actually too far in on Zach Ertz, which is good for you that you're as rostering him, meaning like they're not bringing on like Ben Sinnott, who they drafted in the second 2 years ago. It's like all the snap, and then they're giving
Right.
the ball to John Bates, who had a
Right.
terrible drop in the game yesterday. It's like, bring your young guys along.
Touchdown.
Right. To who?
Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, nice.
We're set with a strike. So let me just let's catch our viewers up, because I put my money where my mouth is and tried to unload the clip this week to get a W in our main league. And I went and traded for a tight end. I traded for friggin' Jacoby Brissett to get a quarterback in there because Baker's on bye and
He's looking
Murray's
good right
hurt.
now, isn't
What's up?
Jacoby's looking good right now, though, isn't
He
he?
is looking good. And then I dropped two guys. I think one of them was Parker Washington, because I brought Kyle Monungai and I brought Elijah Arroyo off the taxi squad, because I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win my week,
Week to week.
like what's the point of a taxi squad if you're not gonna? It's like you're gonna hang on to roster cloggers and cost your team a win. It's like, if they're ready, bring them up. You can fill it next year.
Yeah.
If they're ready, that's a good thing. Like,
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I sent you Ertz, is because I'm like, hey, if I need to, because right now I have no depth behind Mark Andrews and Trey McBride. It's Ben Sinnott, but if I need to, I can elevate, Ferguson, or I can elevate Mason Taylor off of the taxi rest of the season, and that's exactly what I'll do. Yeah, you don't need to hold on to the roster spots. The roster spots, like you said, you can fill them next season. But to your earlier point, tinkering which way or the other, don't feel that you have to hold on to the first, especially in a draft like this one. That's actually not going to be as top heavy at the top with prototypical slam dunks. There's going to be a lot of players in the second, third, fourth round that are going to, and free agency on the waiver wire, they're going to be very productive. It's going to be difficult to guess. We don't even have a consensus QB1 right now. Right?
No, quarterback's a mess right now. I feel like college football is kind of a mess right now.
It is.
Gators just fired their coach. LSU just fired their coach.
Penn State fired their coach.
Yeah, it's funny. I joke around with a buddy of mine, and we're like, I asked him about Tennessee football, and he's always like, "Fire the coach." This is first thing they said. Yeah, we'll get into college ball later.
Don't hold on to picks that can help you win now. But now is the time to go into the playoffs. 3 months ago, we thought that it was going to be Arch Manning. A year ago, we thought it might be Nico, who was on Tennessee, who's now no longer on Tennessee.
Yeah.
Right now, some people think it might be the quarterback from Oregon, Dante Moore. So it's like there's just like it's all over the place.
It was the guy from Indiana for a bit.
Yeah,
everyone was high on back in Miami, and now he's throwing a bunch of picks. I was all about Lagway, and then he started throwing a bunch of,
So here's what you want to do. Go back and look at your league, see what's the threshold for playoffs. So for us, the golden number is 9 in our league, 9 wins, right? I'm at 6 right now. I'm 3 away. So I might go. I'm about to get my 6 this week against the Pretender. I might go and trade it first and go get a piece to solidify my playoff run, because I know that this draft is a little wonky at the top. So I can wait, right? And clear up roster spots and drop the roster cloggers and get someone in free agency or trade back in and get a 4th, et cetera, right? So don't be afraid to make a move.
You've done a nice job of drafting. Like, obviously people can question your draft, but like, you've accumulated draft capital and you've taken guys that you felt highly about. And at some point you got to stop playing for the future and start playing for right now. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you're doing. That's how I always play. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
But you can also play for both. Know where you're redundant at a position.
Right. But
I was a little redundant.
Sometimes having 2 or 3 roster spots available that you can swap out quickly is extremely valuable.
Yeah, and you do the roulette piece.
So many people have sunk cost fallacy, or they're just, I think they're intimidated by the fact, it's Dynasty and these guys. It's like, who cares? They can have a good week somewhere else, but if they're not consistent, what are you holding on for?
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll see. So this is interesting. I'm only at a 5% chance of winning, but I'm only down about 13 right now.
Really?
So, yeah. He's got Dak, he's got Lamb. I need Brissett to outscore both of them and plus some. But it's tall ass, but Cowboys have the worst defense in football. So
It's possible.
Yeah.
All you need to do is have him run one in. You never know, there could be an injury.
Yeah. Or he just pulls a Sam Darnold and just lights him up. Sam Darnold, four touchdowns?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He looked great.
He looked good. I didn't watch. I told you, Brock Bowers made me turn my television off.
And I watched Sam Darnold. He did have a play or two where, obviously, he threw a pick, and the pick that he threw was horrible. But he learned a lot in Minnesota. I can tell.
Yeah.
And probably San Francisco too. His feet match his eyes, right? It's not happy feet, he's aligning. So, and he went through his progressions. I saw him go from 1 to 2 to 3. Everyone said that at the beginning of last season and this season, oh, the Seahawks, their line is terrible. Their line's terrible. I mean, he's still balling out there regardless. So either they got something right with the line, he's getting out quicker. I mean, Jason is his first read who gets open all the time, which is great. But the Seahawks look like a potential Super Bowl team. They really do.
Right. But to your point, which you have made, is we got to see Darnold do it in the playoffs, which
We do.
He hasn't done. He hasn't done yet.
The difference is, though,
and hopefully you guys get the wild card because you can't win at home.
The difference is, my humble opinion from what I saw, I do think the Seahawks are potentially a more complete team than even the Vikings were last year. And Darnold, and I've been very critical of Darnold, but Darnold is someone that doesn't play well under pressures. Pressure isn't just being in the playoffs. Pressure is also, hey, I got J.J. McCarthy, top 10 draft pick right behind me, who's only not playing because he's injured, and I'm playing for a contract. All these things are going through his head. Now, there's no JJ behind him. They do have the quarterback out of Alabama behind him, Jalen Milroe, but, he's nowhere near ready. And he got paid already. He has his contract. He has $100 million plus. So he's playing free, just like we all would if we had $100 million coming to us in the next 3 years.
The argument about the Alabama quarterback, he was a 4th round pick. He's not anywhere near 3rd round pick. And if you look at his tape from college, he's a much more
he's a project.
He's a project. I don't think they took him with the idea of, they made it very clear that Darnold was their guy. But speaking of Darnold, I was like, I think the Vikings made a mistake. Is this a soft benching for McCarthy? I think JJ shut that all down this week.
He shut it down in week 1.
He did.
Absolutely shut down week 1. He is a winner. He's a winner. You
know how quick people can turn on you. But that narrative was floating around. But, man, I'm never doubting KOC again.
Here's the thing,
what he's doing. But also, McCarthy, on that 3rd down throw where he just won the game, they could have ran the ball. And he just iced it. Ice cold.
And so, I don't want to glaze the QBs that I have in our main league, but the thing with JJ, and this is you got to give Harbaugh some credit, his college coach. Harbaugh told him, when it comes to the NFL, the only thing that matters is winning. Only thing that matters. So there's been a lot of QBs in the past that have looked pretty good, but they didn't win games, and they got benched, right? Or they didn't get re-signed. Kirk Cousins is one of those. Sam Darnold is one of those. However J.J. McCarthy looks, the guy has been a winner. He's lost 2 games in college total. He's like the other equivalent.
He's lost 2 games is playing like high school and college.
Okay, thank you.
I believe
the only other player that's like that is Jalen, actually.
Jalen Hurts, yeah. But he was
a winner.
Interception. I think we might have some magic, so let's keep this going. Fuck yeah. Winning, just like you were saying earlier, if you can play, not only if you can play, if you can win, that I don't care what your 40 is.
Exactly.
I don't care how tall you are.
Justin Fields and Kyler Murray have put up stats. Kyler Murray has a better winning percentage, obviously, but because they're inconsistent at winning, they're always going to be in the trade talks or the soft benching or whatever. And I can't stress this enough. An NFL game is a production, but an NFL game costs about $2 to $3 million to put on every Sunday, each game, right? So if you're an owner of an NFL franchise, are you really trying to spend $2 million a game every Sunday, Monday, Thursday, what have you? to continue to lose? No, you want a return on your investment, because where they make the most money, though, is playoff games, right? The longer your team can go in and make a deep playoff run, you can charge way higher prices for the playoffs. Now concessions, your stadium is open. That's $1 billion, probably a sunk cost for a lot of you, for a lot of owners.
No.
Maybe some owners are listening to the podcast, but like, you need it to win.
No,
What?
it's not. No, don't glaze up the owners, dude. Come
They're
on.
not glazed up. They might be listening to the podcast.
They're making money off the money they already have that they used to buy the team, and they got taxpayer money going into stadiums. Like,
That is true.
Don't get
But
me
a lot of
going
them are
on
not
owners.
as rich as they're not as rich as you think they are.
They're not
you know,
what? As rich? Yeah.
NFL
Well,
owners are not as rich as you think they are.
Okay.
There's some NFL owners that aren't even billionaires, right? Or like Jerry Jones, for example, bought the Dallas Cowboys off of credit for like $20 million, and like they're just old. That's what it is. He bought it a long time ago.
Right.
There's a lot of
Well, I
NFL
think
owners that could
the
not.
owner for Chicago paid $100 back in like 1920 for it.
There are some NFL owners. I'll put it like this: there are some NFL owners that don't have the liquidity
right
to buy the team that they
like
currently
the Cincinnati Bengals owner.
Correct.
Right. Speaking of Jerry Jones, he's right next to Stephen A. Smith, who's wearing a pastel pink suit. Okay. So we were talking a little about the Bears. A guy who stepped up big. Well, Caleb was clutch. So it looked like the Bears had a very substantial lead. And then Flacco just goes insane. And T. Higgins is just making ridiculous catches, like just insane catches. They recovered an onside kick, which like never happens anymore because of the new rules. And then Chicago finds itself, they got the ball back. There's less than a minute. Caleb goes into ice cold killer mode.
He's confident now.
He's confident because I think Ben Johnson's got that team vibing in a way that other coaches did not.
I think Caleb trusts his weapons more this season.
Well, I think he trusts himself more too.
Yeah.
And that's on coaching. There's a difference between confidence and preparation, having the preparation to back that confidence. And I think he has that now, where like a guy like Matt Eberflus couldn't teach him that.
And when I say he trusts his playmakers more, and part of it is coaching, to your point, but it's more so Caleb, even in college, had a tendency to want to play hero ball. Like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, I got to sit back there and then gun it, pinpoint pass in the end zone, or I got to run it in, right? But no, you can pass it in. You can pass it to Colston Loveland down the seam 20 yards, and then he'll take it another 30 into the end zone, right? You don't know what your guys, especially rookies, have in them until you give them the opportunity, right? And I think he's just taking what the game's given to him, because Rome Odunze didn't have a catch.
Right.
Had a couple of drops, but he didn't have a catch. And they still won. They put up 40 plus. Rome Odunze, big offer.
But there's been games where A.J. Brown didn't have a catch. That doesn't mean he's not a good receiver. It just means that other guys were more open.
Game that A.J. Brown didn't have a catch.
Okay.
I know he's at 5 games.
Week 1, he had one catch. I'm sorry. He had one catch.
Okay. Rome went over.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Are you panicking?
Am I panicking? No. But what I will say is that the Chicago Bears distribution, second half of this year, but probably more so next year, is going to mimic the Green Bay Packers, meaning there likely is no real wide receiver one. And if you're going to want production out of one of the skill players, probably going to be tight end.
But that's the system that Caleb, he didn't have a like bona fide one at USC. And correct me if I'm wrong.
It was he did his Heisman year, Jordan Addison.
When he was a freshman, when Caleb was a freshman.
When he was a sophomore, that was Caleb Williams' his Heisman year, where he looked better than the second year where he had nobody to throw to.
All right.
But I know what you mean. Like his rookie season, it was probably distributed evenly between DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze.
Right. And I like Jordan Addison, but like I don't think Jordan Addison is going to be as productive in the NFL if Justin Jefferson isn't lined up across from him.
Yeah, he might get traded. I think he's actually a one being suppressed by another one.
You think so?
Kind of like Torrey Horton.
Yeah, but my point was I was a little low on Loveland, but that was a great.
You were, and I tried to talk you out of it. You remember what I said?
Right, but like still, to my point is like he's known like those are the kind of plays he makes. Tyler Warren's gonna have way more of a route tree.
Hell no.
He showed why he was okay. All right.
Colston Loveland is a wide receiver, and like he's like Megatron. He's a tight end, but he's more of like a Megatron, maybe a little bit bigger than like a DK Metcalf body, right? As far as like
Yeah.
thickness and height, the routes he runs, no other tight end could run that in the class, maybe even in the league. Like I'm legitimately trying to think, but he
Okay.
runs like a receiver.
Route tree might have been the wrong word. Safety net, maybe. Tyler
Yeah, no, I
Warren's
agree with
gonna
that.
be more of like that safety
Of
net,
course,
like
because he's like
move the
6'6",
chain.
6'7". Yeah,
Right. Move the
yeah, I agree with
chain.
that.
You can put him in at fullback. You can, have him
Yeah,
chip on a block. Colson
of course,
Loveland is
I
going to
agree with that.
be, but Ben Johnson
So
dialed him up a
here's what I'll
couple
agree with you.
times on second and one. He's going long to him. But yeah, you're right.
You
He
don't
can
need to
run.
scheme. You don't need
Yep.
to scheme Tyler Warren open because he's 6'6", maybe even 6'7", and can box you out. He's Gronk, right? You just toss it up there. He moves the chains, red zone threat.
Mm.
Colston Loveland, you probably don't need to scheme him open either, but you can because he can do more in the route tree. So you're kind of like misusing him if you don't scheme him in a certain way. It's like a waste of talent. But what you saw is what I was trying to articulate 3 weeks ago, which is Colston Loveland is 21 going on 22. He's 3 years younger than Tyler Warren. It was going to take him more time to emerge. But what I saw from Colston Loveland last week, in my opinion, is better than what I've seen out of Rome Odunze at his peak, number one. Number two, I think a lot of people are like, oh, DJ Moore's on notice. He's not Ben Johnson's guy. And I'm like, neither is Rome
That's
Odunze.
bullshit.
He didn't draft him, right?
But the
No,
DJ Moore
people
thing,
are saying that. But hear me out, though. Hear me out. Because
yes,
there
sir.
is something to be said that, like, as far as receivers, that Ben Johnson didn't pick Roma Dunze, right? But
Yeah.
he picked Colston Loveland, right? And then he picked Luther Burden. So even though Luther Burden hasn't popped off yet, like, what happens if they draft another wide receiver in the first next year? It's like, if I'm a Roma Dunze holder, I'm trying to get rid of him in Dynasty.
Yeah.
If the Bears, yeah, because it's like okay. In your opinion, who has more of a hold on their job, Ben Johnson or Ryan Poles, the GM?
Ben Johnson.
Correct. That's how I feel about it, right? So it's like,
yeah, there's tape that came out today or something that Ryan Poles was laughing at Drake May's college tape, which I know you aren't the biggest fan of Drake May, but to
I
not
wouldn't have
even
laughed at his
consider
tape.
him, to not even
But I'm also
it's
not a
like
GM.
right. You got to do your due diligence. And even if you're confident in your decision, you should still go. And Trey McBride's eating too. Here we go. But
100%.
yeah, absolutely. And look at what happened down in Miami. They fired their GM
And kept their coach.
Obviously, I think Ben Johnson's a better coach than Mike McDaniels, but I still don't think Mike McDaniels is an awful coach.
He's not.
I do think the way that roster was built is a big reason, and some of the contracts that were given is a big reason why they're in the hole they are.
Same thing with the Bears. DJ Moore's out there running cardio.
No, but he's getting involved. He's getting I feel like he's been more of a leader. He was in the hospital after a game. He's been putting his body on. He's been taking shots.
Okay.
He could be pouting. You know what I mean? Like, he could be one of those receivers that's like pouting about his situation, but
He could.
he's taking pride in running blocks and running sweeps out of the backfield and doing whatever Ben Johnson wants. I've always liked DJ Moore, even though I did trade him, but. Shout out to Spencer for coming on the show last week. I think we gave him the highly disputed kiss of death because we gave him props, and then he went and beat his ass this week, Professor. Well done.
I called him on the show. I said, "You ready to get your first loss?" And he goes, "I'm nervous." And I'm like, "You should be."
Yeah, he was nervous. We live it how we talk it. Yeah. Well, at least one of us does, and it's not me. But in terms of picks, I've been killing it lately. So we've done this for the last 3 weeks, and I did the math. I'm 28-12 and you're 19 and 22. But I think it's because we do the picks at the end of the episode.
I'm a contrarian. I think that's what it is.
28 and 12. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
It is. It is. You know what? You're right. Let's do the picks right now.
Yeah. Let's just roll. Do you want to roll through last week? We don't even need to talk about the game.
Last week.
So we all picked Baltimore.
That was a good
Spencer picked Cincinnati. You and I both picked Chicago. We got a win there. You were the only one to pick the Vikings, who ended up being the Lions. So nice call on that.
JJ's a winner.
JJ's a winner. We all picked the Packers, so that was a consensus L.
Vegas. If you bet
Which,
against
oof.
Vegas, money on that one.
Oof. Panthers finding ways to win. They're 5-3. They have the same record as the Chiefs. So you and Spencer both picked the Texans. I picked Denver. I got that one right. That was a weird game. If CJ Stroud stays in, it's probably a different game, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't know about that. I actually think CJ Stroud looked worse than his replacement. It's
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I don't know. Especially to Nico Collins. Nico Collins started eating after the backup went in.
Oh yeah, it was, dude. Nico Collins is stud.
Mm-hmm.
We all took the Pats, so that was a win for everybody. Spencer and I took the 49ers. You took the Giants. That ended up being closer than I thought it would. Yeah, but 49ers ended up pulling that one off. But we all took the Colts, which we were wrong about. All took the Chargers, which were right. All took the Rams, which were right. You and Spencer both took Jacksonville, and I took the Raiders. I think I was right about that one. It's just, I don't understand Pete Carroll and not running the ball at the 2-yard line. And then Kansas City versus the Bills. You and Spencer took KC. I took the Bills.
Good for you.
And Bills ended up getting a win there. And then you took the Commanders. Spencer and I both took the Hawks. So you and Spencer both finished at 7-6, and I was 9-4. And then for the record, Spencer took Arizona. I took Arizona. You took the Cowboys tonight. And right now it's 10-7. So still in Arizona. Still a lot of time in this one.
Okay. Real quick. Speedy recovery for Jaden Daniels. Looks like he's not going to need, we're wishing him well, but looks like he's not going to need surgery. It was his non-throwing arm, so he's not going to need Tommy Johns. But yeah, it's gruesome. Dislocated elbow. It was going the wrong way. 90 degrees the other way.
Yeah. And when the game was well out of reach.
Dan Quinn, that's a fireable offense, my guy.
Now, remember, I don't know if you remember last show because it was a long show, but I said I thought Dan Quinn should be on the hot seat.
You did. I think I disagreed with you.
And I think that just proved it, that I think he's benefiting more from the roster than the roster is benefiting from him.
You know what? The roster I alluded to, I don't think is even that good. I think he's probably benefiting more from Cliff Kingsbury, in my opinion.
Right. At this point, I would rather just have Cliff Kingsbury. You know, I'm not sure what Dan Quinn's bringing to the table besides his backwards hat. And there's a reason he got
Dan
fired.
Quinn reminds me of? You know who Dan Quinn reminds me of?
Who?
Ron Rivera. He reminds me of Ron Rivera.
Yeah.
Just kind of an empty suit.
Yeah. Well, not like he's a real raw.
But like they're not adding anything. It's like Mike McCarthy.
Right.
Yeah. It's like a poor man's talent, poor man's Vrabel, but like it's more Mike McCarthy.
It's an example. It's an example of the Peter principle. You know the Peter principle. It's like you rise to your level of incompetence. Oh shit! Brissett just rushed it in. We got a game.
Really?
I love it.
What's the score?
Fuck.
Dude, rushing TD is what you needed, man. That's 6 points.
Okay, 38-145.
Yeah, it was
dude. If I pull this off,
Ertz, baby, Ertz.
It doesn't matter. Another thing that I loved is that everything that I did caused Drew to go and acquire J.K. Dobbins.
Even though it
caused him to make a trade, and then J.K. Dobbins gets 5 points.
Yeah, you know who didn't get 5 points though was RJ Harvey.
Yeah, well, I mean, what I'm saying is I put pressure on my opponent to make a move. He could have put in Chris Rodriguez, who had 14 points, or Tony Pollard. He left a lot of points on the bench. But you know, I'm still down. I'm still down. We don't celebrate early around here. We celebrate on Tuesday.
Yeah. I'll celebrate early because I'm way ahead. But
Yeah, you got this. No,
you know,
I mean,
my opponent doesn't have anybody playing right now. So
yeah, no, you're good. Yeah.
okay, so Thursday, who do we got Thursday?
Before we do picks, everything's been quiet on the trade deadline front, but the trade deadline is tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Nothing's really dropped right now. Jerry Jones says they have a trade in place, but he won't announce who it's for, which is very typical.
They're looking for D-line help, so it's not going to play in fantasy football. Apparently, they were trying to get Mason Crosby, and I forget the other person they were trying to get, who's kind of in that tier.
Crosby.
Yeah, they're in that basically like, hey, no, the DN for the Raiders. Am I saying his name wrong?
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby.
Is that his name?
Max Crosby. Yeah, Max Crosby.
Yeah, apparently Max Crosby tweeted something out that he said, Raider Nation, I love y'all with everything. Y'all deserve better, but no announcement yet. Draymond Jones from Titans going to the Ravens. He's the end. Yeah, nothing for fantasy has dropped yet. Brees Hall is still with the Jets.
Which is ridiculous if all they're asking is for a third. Brees Hall's a steal.
It's a no-brainer. I don't that just...
It's the contract
it just shows
situation,
you...
I think.
I think fantasy owners need to understand that NFL owners do not value running backs the same way we do.
Some of them do.
They don't.
Like the Eagles and the Ravens both played their guys, but Brees is a good player.
There's no team that's willing to give a third for Brees Hall. Are you kidding?
It's not just the draft capital.
Prescott. Fuck, dude. Prescott just fucked his ankle up.
Are you serious?
Calais Campbell just landed on his fucking ankle. He's still in. Okay. All right. He's still in. But that looked like it fucking hurt. Yeah, he's gimpy. Let's stay on task here. So let's do some picks. All right. Thursday is Raiders at Broncos. I'm not betting. I'm not taking the Raiders ever again.
That was divisional too. Oh yeah.
Divisional Thursday night. It's in Mile High. I'm tempted to take the Raiders, but I just don't like. They don't. Geno Smith
division games can get messy, but no, I'm going Broncos. That's easy money. I don't trust Pete Carroll at this point.
No, I don't either. All right, we'll take the Broncos. Falcons at Colts.
Falcons
are chose. You're taking the Falcons?
Yeah.
You think
the Falcons are chose after the game that Daniel Jones just had? The Falcons got a great defense.
Yeah, but great.
The Falcons got a great defense.
I don't think Falcons have a great anything.
No, they got great defense. It's how they won the games they won.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are ass.
Ugly. I think I'm going to get this one.
I'm taking the Colts. They're still 7-2. I don't think Daniel Jones. You think Daniel Jones is going to turn into a pumpkin
against a great defense? Yeah. Look at his stat line.
No, do you think that game was a turning point, or do you think it was an anomaly?
It's neither, because he'll play well against bad defenses, but he's not going to hold and be on 10 toes against a great defense, because if it's a great defense, they can stop Jonathan Taylor, which is what happened last week. Once they stop the run, he's not the same quarterback. That
needs to be the game plan for stopping the Colts, is you need to focus on JT and then Tyler Warren. I'm still taking the Colts. I don't trust the Falcons at all. Browns, Jets in New York.
Jets.
I'll take... it's gross. I'll take the Browns just because...
The way to neutralize a great pass rush is with a good run game. The Jets have a good run game. And say what you will about Justin Fields, I find it hard to believe he's going to lose to whatever carousel QBs Cleveland puts out there on Sunday.
Right. That's what I was going to say, is I don't even know who's starting for the Browns quarterback. But, all right. Another ugly one. Saints at Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers.
Divisional.
Panthers are finding ways to win games. Dave Canales has that team. He's like, he didn't get a lot of hype coming out of Tampa Bay, but he's got a little Ben Johnson in him. I've been watching his locker room speeches and the way those guys are rallying around him. That dude he's very prepared, very detail oriented, and much better product than what I've seen from the Saints this year. Saints just got absolutely embarrassed by the Rams. Like, they shouldn't have been on the same field. They didn't have a chance against the Rams.
I'll go Panthers as well.
Maybe they'll trade Shaheed to a team that can use him. Oh, and this is going to be a huge one. Pat's coming into Ray J. to play the Bucks. Bucks are coming off a bye. Pats are coming off a close win over the Falcons. I think everybody knows who I'm taking. Who's Professor taking? I'm not going to take it personally.
I'm gonna take the Bucks. That's a close one. I'll take the Bucks.
You know, Drake May is getting a lot of hype though, but he saw against the Falcons and the Falcons gave him trouble. Like Raheem Morris is the student to a guy like Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles is gonna, and Todd Bowles is coming off a bye. They've been
more time.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they've had this in the scope. They've had this in the scope for a week, and the kind of blitzes I saw him dial up against New Orleans, like he's doing some mad lad. You know, most head coaches if they're calling plays, they're calling the offense. I think the Bucks might have the only head coach who is calling the defense and has done it for the last 7 years consistently. Everybody in that system knows. Like people forget that he was DC for Bruce Arians. Like Vita Vea has never played in a different system. These guys know what to do. They know the nuances. I think the Bucks give them trouble. I think they give them trouble. Ravens, Vikings. I think I know who you're taking. Lamar should be back, yeah?
Yeah, he's back last week.
I said that last week, but
so I think
I'm going Vikings, dude. The Vikings made me believers. That Brian Flores needs to be a head coach again in this league. Their defense is balling.
To that, as much of a winner as JJ is, so is Lamar in the regular season.
You don't think the Ravens here? I mean, the Ravens. This is a must win for the Ravens.
I'm going Ravens.
This is a must win for the Ravens.
It's a must win for both, but I'm going Ravens. But in a high scoring game, I think it goes into overtime. Where is it? In
Minnesota.
Oh, it's in Minnesota.
It's in Minnesota. Yeah.
I'll take the Ravens in overtime, high scoring game.
All right. Well, there's no plus minus here, so overtime.
Listen, call my shot.
As long as they don't tie. Yeah, I'm taking the Vikings. The Vikings showed me they can win. I think the Lions are a better team than the Ravens. All right, Bills going to Miami. I've talked shit about the Bills. I'm done with that. I think the Bills. After what I saw from the Colts, I think the Bills probably going to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl this year.
No, stop.
No? Who's representing the AFC in the Super Bowl this year?
That team has yet to reveal themselves. I don't see it being the Bills.
All right. But do you think they can beat the Dolphins?
Yeah.
You don't think they can beat the... Yeah, you're taking the Bills. But what, if the Dolphins had a guy like Darren Waller, I think they'd be more competitive.
I agree.
I'm kidding.
I agree because he was great when he was there. When he was starting.
Yeah, which was 2 games. But did you see they signed Greg Dulcich, Weird Al Yankovic, Dulcich? Yeah, and he had he went 5 for 5 for like 56. So props to Mike McDaniels for getting me waiver wire tight ends. I appreciate it. And they're all meme worthy, so I love it. It's great. All right, Giants versus the Bears. Oh, this will be tough for you. Because you love both these teams.
I'm taking the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
You did it really well last episode.
Hard for me not to.
I think they keep...
The Giants just lost their best wide receiver and best running back.
They're too banged up. Jaguars going into Houston. Yuck. Houston.
Jaguars are too banged up.
That offense is really lacking identity. I don't know what it is.
It's Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, that's fair. But, they eked out a win against the Raiders. So, and somehow they're like 6-3. So even with Mills, I'll take the Texans. All right, Cardinals going to the Hawks. My only concern about this game is it's in Seattle.
I'm taking the Hawks.
And for some reason, y'all suck ass at home. Well, in that case, I'm taking the Cardinals. Just because I think you suck at home. I don't know what. All right, Lions versus Commanders. That's not fair. Not after JD5 went down.
Yeah, it's Lions.
Yeah, especially after losing this week. Rams in San Francisco. That's interesting. For me, San Fran has their number. I don't know why, but Shanahan seems to have a big number.
If Mack Jones plays, I could see San Fran. If it's Brock, I think it's LA. But we don't do, I mean, I do.
No, I'm gonna take Niners. We both took the Lions. So, week 10, NFL. Right. Rams 49ers. That's what we were talking about.
Rams. I got the Rams.
You got the Rams. I got the Niners on this one. What I was gonna say before we took a break, you should be trying to aggressively acquire Mack Jones in Dynasty. Because whether Mack Jones starts for the Niners next year or gets paid by a franchise, this is a copycat league. Everyone is taking notes on what Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield are doing. Mack Jones has that written all over him right now. And whoever picked up Matt Jones probably didn't pay a lot for him.
Talking to you, Juice Hopkins.
You got to anticipate when you start thinking about next year. But also, Shanahan loves this dude. And his system is very QB friendly. I don't think Purdy is a rare talent. There's a reason why Mac Jones went where he did in the draft and where Purdy went where he did in the draft. Anyways, let's finish up week 10 here. All right, Steelers, Sunday Night Football. Steelers going into Chargers. Man, I mean, the Steelers were beating up the Colts, but then they almost gave the game up. I have a hard time with both of these teams figuring out. These teams scream playoff to me, but early exit. They both scream one and done in the playoffs for me.
Where is it?
It's in LA, but I doubt that matters. God, the Cardinals are just whooping their ass. I love it.
I'm taking the Steelers.
I'll take the Chargers. The LA Superchargers. Oh, no flag. What are you fucking, what is that, a Vegas call? All right, Monday night. This is a good one. Eagles going into Lambeau against the Packers.
Eagles.
Packers are a bunch of fucking pretenders. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Looking like
we got to give them some, Professor, we got to give them some energy here. We got to give them some energy.
Yeah, they're inconsistent, the Packers.
Who won the Super Bowl last year?
The Chiefs.
Last year? Who won the Super Bowl last year?
The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year.
Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia.
Yeah, they're climbing poles.
How is Jordan Love going to lose to the Panthers on his birthday? Like 13-10.
They're
inconsistent.
inconsistent.
Not like it was a shootout and his defense let him down.
Well, he lost his wide receiver one.
They don't have. We all agree they don't have a wide receiver one.
No, I'm being
There's
facetious.
no excuse to you traded Jordan Love for a reason. Don't try to defend him.
I'm being facetious. They lost their he lost his number one pass catcher.
Who?
Tucker Kraft.
Kraft. Yeah,
He's gone for the season now. With that, I think it was an ACL tear.
People are like it's a tough. It's how many people have?
Okay,
Baker Mayfield lost Mike Evans. I lost Chris Godwin. Come on, bro.
Baker's better. No, that's okay.
Well, yeah, he is.
Baker's top 10. Jordan Love is not top 10. Jordan Love is in that 10 to 20, probably that 15 to 20.
He's mid tier.
He's mid tier. He's where Dak's at. Dak's getting his brakes beat off right now by Jacoby Brissett. Do you think Baker gets his brakes beat off like that? No, he wouldn't.
Hell no. Also, shout out Jacoby Brissett.
Shout out Jacoby.
Go whoop that ass. Go win yourself a starting job. I'm going to hang on to you. Jacoby.
Jacoby won. He know thee.
Jacoby won. Yeah, no. I think I might. Dude, that would be so crazy if I. Jacoby Brissett. Let's just do a little. Let's pull him up really quick. North Carolina State. He played for the Gators. He's from Florida. Yeah, let's go, bro. He's from West Palm. Let's fucking go. Let's go. University of Florida. Yes, dude. Now I'm going to get this one, Professor. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get by like 1 point.
I hope you do.
They fucking scored. Who scored? I was talking. God, I love it.
Who scored? Trey McBride or Marvin Harrison?
I think it was a running. I think
Jacoby ran it in?
No. He's outscored Drake May, which is pretty impressive, I believe. Yeah. So let's. So you're contending right now as a contender to fellow contenders out there. Who's somebody you said you were willing to give up a first because you don't think next year's class is that great? Who's somebody you're targeting? Just like throw out some names for the listeners.
So to be fair, it's not that I don't think it's that great. I think it's going to be hard to create tier breaks like we do in normal drafts. So it's like, the 105 is the tier break. The 108, nobody's going to know because like it's one of those dart throw classes. What I would do is, yes, I'm not saying send a first standalone. You don't have to do that, but see what you can get if you sent a first and got a player and a second back.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. Who are you name a guy that like you think would
I'm gonna
would
give
be
you
on
several.
a non-contending roster. Like, who's somebody who's like a buy
Worth a
low
first?
for contender?
It doesn't have to be buy low, but I'll just say it's a first that basically this player might not get you production, even past this year, right? If it'll get you over the top into late first, Christian McCaffrey, Eric Henry for the RBs.
Would you send a first for Derrick Henry right now?
He's someone that I would send a first and want like a second back. But yeah, I would still would send the first, right? Because if you're the manager of Derrick Henry, like, yeah, you send Derrick Henry in a second, you get a first back. That's a win-win. Derrick Henry might not be producing next year, but he could win you the fantasy football playoffs, right? For running back, Christian McCaffrey is there. I think he's RB1 or 2 right now, but he's someone that might
Right.
not have next
As
season.
a Christian McCaffrey owner who's at 4-4, it's like you can pry him from like cold dead hands. No, seriously, I'm like, what do you like? What? I'm like, what asset is more valuable than? I mean, the guy's consistently putting 20 plus on.
He's 30. He's 39, or he's not 30. He's 29.
He's 39.
He's 39. Please trade
He's
him.
Joe
He's
Flacco's
39
age.
years old. He's using some special face cream. He's actually 39. Please, you be needy.
He's 29, bro. He's 29.
29 is not young for a running back.
Yeah, but it's also 7 years younger than me. It's not old.
If you'd been playing professional football for the last 8 years, I think you'd wake up in the morning and be like, man, I feel old.
I already wake up in the morning.
Like his knees are probably the
been-
knees of a
I've been
50-year-old.
professionally cooking and I feel old.
Yeah.
He probably. I would reckon that Christian McCaffrey feels better than me in the morning, regardless of age.
Okay, let's do this. Christian McCaffrey or a late 2026 first.
McCaffrey.
Derrick Henry or a late 2026 first.
In that case, it depends on where my team's at.
We're talking about contenders.
If I'm rebuilding, I would rather
contending. You're the contending
Henry.
team.
Then I would want Henry. Yeah, I would want Henry.
2026 first or Daniel Jones if you're QB needy but you're contending. You just lost Jaden Daniels. He was your QB1. You don't have much behind him.
I mean, you know my philosophy. I'm like, fuck those. Fuck your picks. Your picks aren't going to win you a playoff game. They're not this year. They're not going to win you a playoff game.
The picks offer you flexibility though down the line is what it really boils down. They do.
I'm not saying, but like that's my strategy is so if you need a quarterback in Daniel Jones, but like also
is he worth the first to you? Is what I'm saying.
Not when a guy like Jacoby Brissett is putting up 26 points.
There you go. Then say that.
So like if you're contending, try to buy the guys who are seizing the opportunity for the rest of the season.
Be resourceful.
Like send a fourth, send some fab money.
So Marcus Mariota over Daniel Jones for you then?
Yeah. I would rather have Mariota. Rather have Mariota, and you can get him much cheaper. If you need a spot start at quarterback.
Yeah.
If you're rebuilding and you want to go after Jones and you believe in him that much.
If you're 4-7, would you take a 2026 first for Christian McCaffrey?
No. So
he's going to retire on your team?
Yes. Yeah, it's Christian fucking McCaffrey. Who am I going to draft that's better than Christian McCaffrey?
Trevion Henderson.
Treylon Burks.
Treylon Burks got a target and a catch yesterday.
They're obtainable.
Would you send a 2026 late first for Javonte Williams?
Yeah. Yes. If I was contending and Javonte Williams was on a bad team, I would, yes. I mean, he's not having a great game right now. I think he was kind of a sell high earlier in the year. I don't think he's going to have a strong finish. No, but I'm just saying, it's guys like that. You've played a lot of fantasy football. I play a lot. There are random ass running backs that come in at the end of the year and win you a league because of injuries and because of just the wear and tear of professional football down the stretch. Like guys like Ernest Johnson. It's
punchy.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how you're not getting points based on how good the team is or whether they win or lose. It's about how many yards they get. So if a team just sucks and is going to phone it in and going to hand it off to their backup 50 times.
Kyron Williams came out. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Kyron? Who's this year's Bucky?
Who is this year's Bucky?
I think it's Trevion.
I think it's Kyle Monungai.
I
Because
can't
Kyle
argue that.
Monungai. He's got a starter ahead of him who had an injury.
You think he looks better than Swift though?
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Swift was looking good.
I mean, I haven't watched a lot of tape of him. He just looks way more decisive than Swift for me. My biggest problem with Swift, as somebody who I've never drafted him in redraft. I've always kind of avoided, like, the talent is there, but he's always looking to bounce it outside. Like, he seems like somebody who's trying to make the big play every run. Where Monunga is like gonna put his head down and get 6 yards, gonna get 8 yards, gonna chip away, and then he'll hit the 39. I mean, the dude had 200 scrimmage yards. And obviously, like, Swift has had good games this year, but I feel like Swift is always looking for a big play.
He's playing Bam night.
He's all over. Vidal would also be a guy. Remember, we were debating, like, is it Haskins or Vidal? Like,
And I thought it was Vidal.
we
And
both
Vidal's in
kind
the
of
same
lead
team.
to Vidal. I mean, Hampton's coming back, but
The damage has been done.
like, Vidal's put enough on tape now that it might not be for the Chargers, but, like, guy's gonna play for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like shit. The Patriots just brought in D'Ernest Johnson. It's criminal.
And especially, like, getting in the end zone with the backup running back. I don't even know what his name is. And he's like the
Jennings?
4th string running back.
Who the fuck is that? If we were doing a waiver show, which we probably should, I'd say pick that guy up. At this point in the year, okay, go get
I think something Jones. I don't remember.
the Jones. That's what the Bears were doing. They had their backup in. I was like, who the hell is Brock Brown? Tyrell Jennings.
Giants.
Yeah, he's out of nowhere.
Actually, I'm out of the practice squad. Got elevated last week.
And then Garrett Patterson for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Like, these are guys who are just like, they're going to be
Another
relevant.
name.
Just with the wear and tear of the season, they're going to be relevant.
Possible that this player's on a bad team. Another player who's not on IR but has been injured for the past like 3 weeks, Garrett Wilson, might be able to get him on the low. That's someone I would send a 2026 first for.
If you were contending?
Absolutely. Because he was
Yeah.
like a top 7 wide receiver before he went out. But with the kerfuffle that is the Jets, who's the quarterback, there's a lot of ambiguity that, whoever is rostering Garrett Wilson might
Injury
go
isn't that bad, right?
for extended knee. So he's been out for 3 weeks, but he'll be good. It wasn't like nothing was torn.
If I was in contender, obviously I wouldn't do this. But I would price check Bucky Irving because he's a guy who's going to be coming off. I think he's going to be coming back next week. And if you're not,
would you take a 2026 first for Bucky?
No,
If
I
you
wouldn't
weren't
take
contending.
like Bucky. But yeah, you're not going to get Bucky from me either. But I'm saying, if you're contending and the Bucky Irving owner isn't a huge Bucks fan and didn't pick him up basically for free, then I would price check Bucky Irving.
Wait, no. That's contradicting what you just said. You said if a manager picks up a player for free, they'll be more likely to move him.
Right.
You picked him up for free.
No, I got him in the 4th round. Well,
Flex.
he happens.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bucky owner in your league is not a huge Bucks fan, then they might be willing to part with him, especially if they're not contending. Because what have you done for me lately? And he hasn't done anything because he's been hurt.
Would you have taken Cam Scottaboo before he got injured for Bucky? Okay.
I like Scottaboo, but I mean, Bucky to me is special.
He is special.
Like, Cam's good, but not that he's not.
Special, but he's injury prone too.
Yeah, I mean, his running style is violent. Like, somebody's gonna get hurt on. He's trying to dish it out, but like he's gonna get it too. We were both high on Scottaboo. I just think Bucky just. I've seen him reverse field on turn the entire defense around. Like, he's got the kind of burst. He's got the burst and speed and pass catching that Scottaboo just doesn't have.
Yeah, like a Trevion Henderson, if you will.
Right. And I was looking at the stats. Travion Henderson on the outside, on the edge, is like averaging 6.9 a carry. So,
but they don't use him there.
Right. But they're trying to run him in between the tackles and it's not working. But that's a coaching thing. So it's like you got to find a way to get your playmakers in the position in space. It'll be nice. Patriots fans coming down here next week. That'll be good. Tampa Bay legend Tom Brady. I know he spent a couple years on the Patriots, but
is he calling the game?
I don't know.
I know I was supposed to be at that game. I'm glad that
in the nosebleeds.
I'm glad that I chose not to because
well,
it's too expensive.
we should just bottom way early. I didn't know the Pats were going to be this good.
I knew they were going to be good, but probably not this good.
This is going to be a really good game. This is going to be a good game. What are we doing for subscriber number 10?
Ooh, let me noodle on that one.
I got some merch on the website.
Okay. Okay.
So maybe I'll get some samples, and subscriber number 10 gets a highly disputed hoodie for sweater weather.
Cool. Sounds good.
Yeah?
I like that. We might already have subscriber 10. We don't even know yet.
We could. We could.
Appreciate you, brother, like always. If there's a crazy trade that happens, like I said, I might hop on. Something crazy happens.
Yeah, do something live. All right. Much love to the listeners.
Till next time.
Let's have a drink and let's talk through it. Hey, highly disputed.